All right, kids, we're going to try and get this. We're going to try and distill this concept, right? So I was watching YouTube again, thinking with my noodle lighter, thinking with my thinkers, and I was thinking, is hermetic Hebrew Kabbalah, is Jewish Kabbalah crypto racism? Or is it just straight racism? Inquiring minds want to know. I mean, I like them, I like a fellow foreskin cutter. Not that I cut the foreskins, right? Because we just got cut by our fucking, you know how it is. Your family deliver you onto whatever it is when you're a kid. But, anyways, is it crypto racism? Or is Kabbalah for everyone? I swear Kabbalah is the Templar process for everyone for the fractional emanations of the thing we call the powers, right? Because the thing that actually rules is infinite potential. It's not a man or a woman, even though the infinite potential mind we reach is man and woman, right? It's masculo-feminine, that H shape, right? It has two polarities, male and female, right? At this present time, there is two polarities. The chief mind, allowed in the consciousness of this plane, right? Masculo-feminine. That is not God. That is Elohim mind, right? One of the fractional emanations. Ein Sof is actually God, guys. So, Ein Sof is not nihil. They say God is nihil. Well, no. God does not exist. Nihil means it's not. It's not. Ein Sof means not nothing, right? It's not a form like a human. It's not a planet like a power, because the planets are the powers. When you get into the Sephiro, the Kabbalah, many of those emanations come from the planets. Some of the other emanations come from other places. Most of those emanations are spirits, if you will, locked up in those planetoids, the things that make light, the stars, right? Star groups, right? Is the other place where spiritual energy comes from, the astrolight, right? You can go up and look at astrolight, get energy, right? Come up with your ritual in the right hour, or the right time, or the right day. Because it's astral necromancy, astral sorcery, astral magic, however you want to look at it. It's things that don't have bodies right now that are giving you mental energy to do things, right? The sun is the chief of which, because we respond most to it. The others are the fractional emanations, which is the Kabbalah tree, and all the other emanations of Hermetic Kabbalah are fractions of Ein Sof, which is the great infinite potential. Let's get back to that. What the power, the one unified power is infinite potential. It could be anything. It's not one form. It is that repository of energy that could be anything. That can get put out to be a planet, to be the gases necessary to form a star, right? The kickoff initiation around it to initiate the fire-up process, right? The cosmic engine concept, right? The formator, the former, the grand architect for that is that thing we call Ein Sof. It's that great infinite potential. It could be anything, and it formed everything, right? From that, we have fractional emanations, which are like the galaxies. I mean, we're looking at a real tiny microcosm right here on this tiny Earth. Oh, we're the only thing intelligent. When those planetoids run around there doing their thing all day long, not asking you how they do it, their shape and movement change, and they're based on resonant fields and stuff. That's the human mind, the body, everything works on those resonant fields, that vibrational wavelength spectrum technology, because when it goes back into wavelength and vibration, we're at light again, right? So when we're being funny about the light bearing shit, bearing the spectrums, the reality is all is light. Light has been broken up into the five senses for us to realize this reality and interact with it in the capacity we do, right? So light, fractioned 5 times. We're a star, guys. We emanate from the middle, from that tiny dark spot in the mind, right? If you look at the body, it's a 5-way star, right? The head being the radius that is least prominent. The whole concept is crystalline, radial, geometric, but at the surface level, looks organic, right? It's a mind-matter complex. It's a fractaline complex.
your brain puts it together to be continuous complex when it's probably teeming and pulsing with light and life. But the brain has to put it together like a solid image, right? Just like a computer puts pixels together. If you saw the pixels put together individually, you'd be like, I can't tell what I'm fucking looking at. But if you carry continuity on it and a refresh rate, what do you get? An image, right? That's what we're getting. The mind is an image. The things we do, the camera is an image. It's an instrument it's a scientific instrument that gathers images, right? Just like the eye. It is a bioorganic spiritual, because through the eye, you can get spirits, guys. By looking at sigils, you can get spirit. By getting you can get right-handed spirits, left-handed spirits, intuition spirits, centered spirits, sun spirits, moon spirits. I want to call them spirits, but because that's what you guys do, but it's mind energy, right? You can pick up a mind energy. And it's not permanent hardcore, unless you do stuff to initiate it, or you continue with the intuition process, right? It will give you cues. It'll make weird sounds. You'll be thinking things and something will fall and you'll be like, damn, the cat just moved something. But I was thinking about something and I needed a confirmation and that was it. Weird sounds in the back. Just subtle reality, kids. What this crap brings you to is realizing your mind is connected to subtle and gross reality. And the more you ascend it in a capacity that aligns with your actual goals, because I was on the left pillar and I was trying to get something going, and the left pillar, to ascend any further, you got to do bad stuff. I'm not into it, right? I'm not really into the things that the industries that use the left pillar for authority, because there is authority through deception, right? Not interested in too much with that. I'm more of exculpating deception through communicating with spirits and getting access to information that you can't see, or places I can't be, right? Getting access to information that's been hidden. Secrets, because there's a power that reveals secrets, right? And we believe through the Sephiroth, right? The number one emanations we get access to are the sun and moon, right? Without the sun, the moon's no good, right? There's a capacity between the two of them, right? And the earth. Those are the three things we play with easily. You can connect with those the most. Going up and down the left and right pillars is a lot easier, right? You can take aspects of it, right? From Saturn to Mars to Mercury on the left pillar, which is Boaz, or from Hakama, which is the zodiac. They also put up Uranus in the upper right. And something to consider about uranium and terrible atomic things and Uranus, that there's a connection between uranium and Uranus, right? These times have something to do with it. And Uranus is in Taurus. The last time Uranus was in the middle of Taurus was when that World War II got kicked off big. And shit's going on right now, multiple places. And they're just trying to cover it up. That stirrup's there. We're in the middle of the time where the years where decades happen, right? Not just with humans, but with cosmologically, kids. Really stuff's about to start kicking off. Space weather, right? That's why they came with the Space Force. But more importantly, it's about to start really happening. I believe astrologers are going to start waking up and start talking about it. And really starting to warn people hey, listen, cosmic consequences. What's his name talks about? Leo King talks about it a little bit. And people are man, he's kind of dystopian, but he has a really good view. He has a solid view on this stuff. He's not oh my God, we're going to a fucking carnival next. Everybody's going to get a fucking prize. Right? No. Shit's not working out really good for the country. And he can see it. And he's in an area where things get tough quick, on the West Coast. And over here in the East, it's not good either. In Texas, it's failed. Obviously, right? So, that being said, we believe those are the indications of when the gods, the Elohim, the planets, make a stir here. They could do any number of things to shake the Etch-a-Sketch. Any small cosmic movement that they decide to shift between themselves, they're in agreement. The gods are in agreement to keep this thing running the way it is. Right? The gods, aka the planets. The planets are ruling. The sky fathers and mothers are the planets right now. The sun, the moon, the planets. The stuff that controls this place. They're like gears. They can change the whole micro and macro cycles change, right? When you look into how the zodiac, how Jupiter moves through the signs, how Saturn moves through the signs, how the aspects, the actual powers that affect how you are formed archetypally, right? How you radiate your individuality out is based on those archetypal concepts and personalities that reflect down here. Every one of those have astral light that reflects. Every one of those planets, from Pluto on down, even, right? They all have value, right? And astrologically, that's what's imprinted on us. We're a star family out of each zodiac, and then the aspects are what kind of control, aka the gods, control our mental, psychosocial, behavioral fluidity, right? If that makes sense. All right, later, kids. What a little astro dump in the end, right? Later, beloved. Maybe that adds value in your life.